step into the beat, yeah, we're feeling so iconic. Glitter in the air and the vibes are supersonic. Queens in the house, got the world in our hand. We tearing up the scene with those Halston plans. Swat that lip gloss, pop those lashes high. Living for the moment under neon sky. Podcast blazing loud, gotta catch that train. Speak your mind, honey, let them feel the rain. Hanging with the Halstons, you know it's a show.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, welcome to Hanging With The Halstons. How are you guys doing today? It's Sunday. It was Super Bowl Sunday. Did you guys watch the game?
Yeah. Of course, that's right.
Yeah.
Who won?
Philadelphia won, the Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't really know them either. Philly could use a win. Philly could always use a win.
Could they?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I bet they're going to go into... Because Philly's like Baltimore. It's like one of those like secondary cities where kind of anything goes still. It has like a crunchy kind of feel to it. It's a good time. It's like that you get in trouble.
Philadelphia, if anybody's listening, we do love you. We don't think you're all crunchy.
No.
But I do love good crunchy when I go to a city.
Yeah, you know, there's certain cities that have crunch to them.
Well, it's kind of when you go in and you're like, okay, I know that I'm going to leave with one or two things. Either a black eye or an STD.
Like, sometimes you're bringing one.
I guess.
They're bringing zero in their city, yeah.
Not me.
No, not you. No, I was just talking about have you ever been to New Orleans? That's where the Super Bowl was this year.
I've never been. No.
I've only been there once, and actually changed. I drank so much in New Orleans that now I like only drink socially because like you drink so much there you almost lose a taste for it. I'm waiting for that to happen with weed. But
do you drink at home?
No, I smoke at home.
Well, I used to smoke everywhere. You smoke at home, in the car, at the grocery store, at the parking lot. At the bookstore, at the bathhouse.
It's true.
Like everywhere.
All those places.
But like, I don't drink at home either. Like, it's just surprising to a lot of people because I drink at my shows. But I literally went into the refrigerator and Skylar had ordered or like Instacarted like beer. And I felt like Daryl Hannah in Still Magnolias. What is beer doing in my refrigerator?
I think we should pray. I'd rather eat dirt. Yeah,
I feel like that was me the other day because I was like,
and you still have beer before your operation.
I miss beer so much that I can't have it. But let me tell you, if I ever go back to Epcot, Walt Disney World, they have the Epcot House, the around the world.
I would love to do that.
Okay. You've never been?
No, the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, yeah.
Okay, let me tell you. They have all the countries, right, in the Epcot. And I believe it's Germany, in the Germany land, or area, not land, but they have a grapefruit Hefeweizen.
Oh.
And it is so good. Like, I will drink that if I ever get to go back. 100%, I will drink that because it's one of my, and I love a Hefeweizen. I love like a Blue Moon. I love all kinds of delirium. Huh?
Have you ever tried delirium beer?
No.
Have any of you ever tried delirium beer? It's so good. It's so strong. It's made by females in Germany. It's like a female-owned thing. It's so strong. It's so good. It's like a little pink elephant is their logo.
See, but I can't do like hoppy. Like I can't do IPAs and things like that.
I think it might be like clogged that right.
See, I can't do that. I can't do like the hops. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Hops. Okay. Well, I can't do it. I like it, but I also really love Michelob Ultra. That's like one of my. Man, are you kidding me?
Sam Bush. When I'm out of drag, I drink IPA beer and like whiskey and all that. Yeah. When I'm in drag, I drink like Aperol Spritz, Vodka, Red Bull, and all that.
Does it make you feel more feminine to drink those things?
It keeps me awake more.
You look the same.
Yeah.
Either way.
I was trying to explain to someone who was doing my wigs, and I was like, you are a very natural girl in drag. So obviously you want your hair to like move like a lady. I was like, there is nothing here that is fooling somebody. I want a football helmet of hairspray and gel. And
did you tell her to like watch the Super Bowl and like make me something similar?
Basically, I'm like, I don't want it to move. I want it to shine it, be reflective even.
So I remember one time when I was doing, I did a Disney show with Delta Work, and we had a...
what show you two in?
Huh?
What show were you?
Oh God, this was like 4 years ago. Like we did We did shows all for years.
You're a costume Disney character?
No, we did a Disney show.
Oh!
We were doing a Disney show.
When you worked at Disney, I was imagining you like as Chippendale or like...
No. I did work at Disney for a little over 6 years.
So you did a Disney drag show?
But we did a Disney drag show.
Okay, yeah.
And I was in Snow White, and I wore her Snow White hair because I'd forgotten mine. And she had brought me hers. And when I tell you, it was the most sculpted, like, helmet of a wig. And it was so perfect that I've had my personal Snow White hair redone like 7 times, and nothing is ever compared to what she let me borrow for that 3 minutes. But
now, when you all were coming up, because you guys did so many shows together for so many years, did you give her your hair to do? Was she in hair, and you were like, fix this one, bring this one to the
because she did my hair.
I'm gonna take that hair.
She did my hair because I actually never wore wigs. I had my own hair. My hair was down to the middle of my back, my real natural hair. And so she would, before the shows, would hot roller my hair and style it for me. But I never had wigs back then, unless I had to have them. You know, it was like a character or something like that. But I used my real hair because I was a woman.
A great read backstage when the girls are trying to read you, but not. If the girl does hair, they'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I should take this home with me after the show tonight. I'll fix it. I'll give it back to you." That means they're telling you you should not be wearing that hair out. I'm gonna fix it.
Okay, do you know? Okay, I'm gonna talk about it.
What?
Okay, so that happened. I had told somebody backstage that I was like, "Hey, I want to get this restyled eventually," and I wasn't even telling her I wanted her to restyle it. I was just like, "I want to get this restyled. I don't really like the way it was done last time." And when I left before she did, she took it upon herself to take my wig home, style it for me, bring it back, and then tell me how much I owed her. And I was like, I didn't ask you to style that wig for me, nor did I want you to, and it isn't what I wanted.
No.
But you know what though? I did because
she did the work, yeah.
She did the work. Can I just say something really, really quick? I'm trying not to flash you guys right now. I thought this dress was going to be longer than it is. And
Too late.
there might be a moment of me going to put in some underwear on. But I'm going to try to keep it PG.
It's pretty.
It's what?
It's pretty.
Thank you. It's pretty and pink. I'm not even bent over yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you know that I've been doing lighting for the theater.
Yes.
They literally called me 10 minutes ago because they opened up the program and all of the lighting cues are gone.
Did they have a show tonight?
Yep, they have a show tonight, and they ran the show last night. No problems, nothing, and they said they shut it down like normal or whatever, and they opened it up today and all the cues.
What'd you say?
They have 9 cues. I said, well, you all need to figure it out because they were there when I did them on Saturday, and you used them literally yesterday for your matinee or whatever you did. So figure it out. Like, you did such a mess.
Speaking of a mess in the theater, this week, Donald Trump announced that he was firing the board of the Kennedy Center, the board of trustees, and appointing himself the new chairman of the board of the Kennedy Center in D.C. And he claims it's because they were doing drag shows aimed at children. Last year, they had one Broadway drag brunch, which was just open to its subscribers. Some of the parents, whether they brought their kids or not. But it's kind of crazy because the first time he did not really go into the arts. So now people are like, oh, this is a little different than last time to make yourself the chair. And then we're going to bring back like the culture that reflects our America. I was like, what the hell are they going to be doing over at the Kennedy Center now? What shows were? By Birdie?
Looking, what is that? Riverboat? What is that?
What? Showboat?
No.
A woman over the river? No. No, probably Carousel because he beats her during it. So, they're like that.
Yeah, what's the one? There's another. I don't even know. I can't even think about it right now. Listen. Anybody who thinks that we're not like in a full blown dictatorship is wrong. This should be like if you didn't believe it before, he's taking over and pointing himself as like the king of the arts now.
And then just us living as Sally Bowles, still dancing at the cabaret for 10 cents, not noticing.
I mean, for now, I can guarantee the next year it's going to be legal to even be here in drag. I think that's just my personal opinion. But speaking of Broadway and musicals, Orville Peck.
Orville Peck is in cabaret. He's going to be the new MC on Broadway.
I'm so excited. But do you think he's going to wear his mask?
He could, because the MC is kind of like a lot of times they use makeup as a mask for that role, so why not give him the actual?
Let me tell you, I hope that he wears his mask. I do. I want him to wear his mask because that's his signature.
Yeah.
That's if people are gonna go, and I can feel like even in that play and in that role, he's still gonna keep that mystery, and he's gonna keep that,
Yeah.
I don't know. But he's here in Palm Springs a lot.
No way. Out of the mask?
So he's not performing. And I guess he was recognized because of his tattoos.
No way.
I've never seen him, but I guess he was seen at Chill Bar a couple times.
I've never seen anybody in town. Do you?
Well, I don't go out.
Oh, that's true.
You know I don't go out.
I saw a photo of Lance Bass at Chill Bar. I was like, how come I never see Lance Bass at Chill Bar? I see the same faces.
Lance Bass has been out and about on town. I'm not sure if he's on the prowl or what's happening. I don't know if things are happy at home or not. But he's been all over town the last couple weeks.
I was such a gay kid. So time-wise, when they were touring No Strings Attached, I was in middle school. I would go, my little closeted gay ass would go to the Insane concerts.
And we just got you back that you were in middle school during No Strings Attached. And I think I was actually performing those songs.
Wow.
Because that is horrible. I hope you die. I hope that's right now.
Well, maybe. All the smoking is going to get me.
No.
But yeah, I would go to the concerts in a Lance sign. And I was like, I wasn't gay technically. He wasn't gay technically. But we both knew. We both felt it.
Did you, okay, so Lance is from Backstreet Boys.
No,
NSYNC.
yeah.
NSYNC. I don't.
Backstreet Boys didn't have a gay one. That's why they were men. I mean, Howie was soft, but it's not gay.
Next slide.
No way. Big spot?
Yeah, the team out.
No way. Oh, how about that big card?
Well, look at that.
Well, how about that?
How about, you know what? 1 in 10. So it was bound to happen. But I don't remember, I'm not a big boy band. I didn't,
Not New Kids on the Block?
No.
You weren't into Jordan Knight or Joey?
I could not know who they are. The only reason I know who,
You know Donnie Wahlberg.
the only reason I know who he is because of Boogie Nights.
That's Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, then I don't know.
Donnie Wahlberg looks like he could do some damage. He's married to Jenny McCarthy. He's sexy. He's the older brother of Mark
Jenny
Wahlberg.
McCarthy. Jesus Christ, she's the reason we have all these vaccine problems we have now. She's an anti-vaccine.
So is RFK. He's about to be the head of our health thing.
I know, we're all
Yeah.
well, don't get me wrong, we're all screwed up.
You know what I wanted to ask you about?
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So, you began drag 27 years ago? 28 years ago. Obviously, there was no YouTube. There was no RuPaul's Drag Race. How did you learn the art? There's no YouTube tutorials. It was all just trial and error and people at the gigs being like, you need that on one eye, how did it all work?
Okay, so when I first started, I watched. Somebody did my makeup the first 2 times I was ever in drag, and then we just kind of, you just kind of practice and you kind of keep going and you kind of do it every single week, and then hopefully you get better at it. Hopefully, I mean that's the point, is to learn and evolve. But we never back then. I think my drag mother, Brittany, before she became my drag mother, was like, hey, I love that you're doing this, but next time, try adding a little bit of this in there. And it wasn't a read. It was very much like, hey, this looks great. See what it looks like when you do this. And I think that's when she saw me actually taking her critiques and taking her criticisms and taking her advice and actually putting them into play, but then changing them into my own style and my own way. And I think that's how I became a Halston, because I'm not the originator of the Halstons, and so I think that's how I became part of her family. But it was very much trial and error. You kind of lived in, but back then it was a lot. Back then doing drag was so much easier. It was so easy.
Why?
Because
I was taking photos, you said, I don't know if you're wearing the same outfit 2 weeks in a row.
Totally. But also because there was no expectations.
They'd expect you to look like the drag
They'd
race.
expect you to look like the drag race queens. They'd expect you to look like, you came off of the Milan runway, in Fashion Week. They didn't expect you to be, they went there having no expectations and being pleasantly surprised because you were there to entertain them. And that's the way it was back then.
Who was the girl on the scene that was that bitch when you were coming up? That you were like, oh, I'll stay and watch her numbers. Like, she's giving me love. She's teaching me this. All right.
Kiwi.
Her name was Kiwi?
Her name was Kiwi. So back in the day, Kiwi was the iconic drag performer. And she was actually one of the very first SoCal and in Los Angeles and Riverside where I started. They brought her in, and Kiwi was probably one of the first trans women that I was ever exposed to. Wow. Because I came into the bar freshly turning 18, like I was a whisper of 18. And when I came in, and then I was in drag 6 months later.
Yeah.
So but Kiwi was probably one of the most magnetic people on the stage, because no matter what she was doing, you were hyper focused on her.
Yeah. Remember her signature number? Do you remember what she did?
She had a couple, huh?
She had many.
She had many, yeah.
Too.
Well, yeah. I mean, she had many iconic numbers. But she used to do "I'm Beautiful, Damn It," and she would come out in a full hot pink fluorescent suit, and she would be painted in this big updo. And she would come out and she would dance the house down. And when I tell you that she had the flexibility, she would do a high kick, and it would just be like air, like marshmallow. And it just
When I do it, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, she was one of the most magnetic entertainers that I remember from me growing up.
She passed away?
She did pass away. She passed away, I want to say, in early 2000s. Early 2000s, 2002, 2003. She probably passed away. And I don't even know from what. But Kiwi was the type of person that she was very religious. She loved Jesus. She loved God. She loved going to church. She was an usher, so she wore her white gloves every Sunday and ushered people to their seats. But she had saved up, because back then, computers weren't a thing, and so they were kind of expensive. And but she had saved up, I think, $3,000 to buy a new computer for herself. And then a family in her church, their child had passed away. And she gave the $3,000 to pay for the baby's burial. And that was the person she was. And it took all of us, it was a really big hit to almost every entertainer in Southern California, for sure. But she was definitely one that I was just could not take my eyes off of. And I'm when I grow up, you are who I want to be. And so when I took over the shows at VIP, she became one of my cast members.
How big is it?
Yeah, and so, one of the most magnetic people. Dolly Levi, we talked about her. Talked about her a couple weeks ago. She's another one that you just cannot take your eyes off of. That's really it, honestly. There's a lot of entertainers from back in the day, but when it comes to people who you just still to this day think of when I'm planning my numbers, what I want to emulate, what kind of stage presence I want to have, When it comes to the stage presence, I want to have the stage presence of Kiwi, but I want to have the energy of Dolly Levi. And so that's kind of when I plan my nights and whatever, that's what I want.
So the second, like, two-part question then. So this is what you learned before Drag Race coming in. What do you wish new entertainers learn that they're not going to get from, that you'd only get from lived-in experience like you have?
Respect, first of all.
It is.
I mean, a lot of the new queens have no respect for the people who paved the way, who have never been on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that goes back to the whole why you were so mad about Joella making that comment when she left the show.
Because here's the thing,
Discounts.
you have an opportunity now to speak up and be a positive voice for the queens who aren't on the show, who get side-eyed, who get shafted, who get overlooked, or you now have an opportunity to be an advocate for those people. But you decided that you, in true fashion, because I know her, she's never been about community as far as I know, you took it upon yourself to make it a now it's about you and only you and nobody else. Well, you know what? I hope that goes well for you.
We didn't talk about this on the pod, but she, there's that Roscoe's viewing party that is like a part of Drag Race culture, and Asia Lopez had the same reaction you did, which was like, screw you, this is not the message to send, like, how dare you, the local queens, or just what, keep this the backbone. Drag Queen about Joella's comments on the video, and like, starts laying out her own defense. Oh, you did see it. Which was like, she was like, it was the lowest point in my life. I didn't know what to say. I was trying to make a silver lining. Like, no one supports local drag more than me. Like, this whole.
If no one supports local drag more than you, then that would have never been a thought in your head. That would never have crossed your mind to even say something remotely like that if you didn't honestly believe that. That wasn't a what am I going to say, a slip. That was a planned statement. And I firmly believe
that's true.
that was a planned
17
statement.
years in, you go in being like, this is going to be my entrance line, this is my exit line.
Well,
there's certain things that you know.
They tell you that.
Yeah.
They tell you that. Like, before you go on, what are you going to say when you come into the workroom? Like, they want to know what your entrance line is. And you can't tell me they don't want to know what your exit line is. Now granted, can you change it in the heat of the moment? Probably. They can't control everything that you do. They might make you redo it.
I always love the girls who are so glad they don't give an exit line. They just go. I'm like, oh, that's real. That's the real motion.
That would have been the better option for Joella when she left the stage, was to say nothing. If that was what she had to say, you know what? I'm good.
Hanging with the Halstons, it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got.
Here's the thing. If there was one thing that I wouldn't mind, is like ghost stories. I love ghost stories.
I love that.
I used to love like Paranormal Society, like all the ghost watching shows.
Have you ever worked with the medium?
I've never worked in the medium, but I've been asked. I know. Our friend Nathan here, his mother is actually a medium.
Oh, no way.
But I wasn't able to get, we weren't able to connect our schedule. We weren't able to connect.
This year,
for sure. But I've been told, there was one time I was just walking, I think it was after a show, and a lady walked up to me, she saw, hey, I just want you to know that your grandmother's always around you, and she's very proud of what you're doing and what you've become. And I was all, just crying, but I believe in that kind of stuff. Like, have you ever been touched? Have you ever been, physically?
Like Diana Ross, reach out and touch.
Not what I meant, but have you ever been have you ever felt like a spirit touch you, or no?
I am very into that. Like, I will go. I used to have 2 different psychics that I would go see when I lived in New York City. I go get my tarot read. I believe, I love, kind of similar, is past life regressions where they put you under hypnosis and you find out what your past lives were and what lives you lived and tap into different parts of you, which is similar to ghosting, ghost stories. Because
We've done plenty of that.
I talked to Ms. Behyven has like a little bit of that medium layer to her, and she talks about how, because I'm like, I believe in reincarnation, but you see and talk to spirits, like how is all of it true? And she's like, well, because some spirits are grounded to this reality because of either the trauma in their life, the trauma of their death, unfinished business, that they're watching over somebody, they don't want to move on yet. There's many reasons that keep people here versus the idea of like going back into the cycle.
I firmly believe that we all have past lives. I think that. I do believe in like, I don't know if I necessarily believe that like we're reincarnated as like a butterfly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's like
we're
thing, but
movie stars part of the studio system. They're like, not big stars, but like jealous of each other in like the C list. Who's going to play somebody's sister? Yeah. Who's going to be the third sister to Judy Garland and Meet in St. Douglas? With the two lines. And you see, because you know all those girls on each other. Are you worried about the flashing?
I was stuck. My ring was stuck, and I was about to show you a very different side of Vanity.
It's got the whole episode. Mature audiences only.
But I love haunted houses, like, and I love that kind of stuff. Like
an actual haunted, like
I love
in New Orleans. We went to a house that was supposed to be haunted. It was cool, it was scary.
What is a experience that you've had with a ghost? Like, you know, like, oh, we're not alone.
I had to understand. When I lived in New Jersey, there was this. We would hear dog barking occasionally, and I have dogs, so we just always assumed it was the dog. And then we have a friend who's like a Wiccan, very like into this world, and they were like, "Do you hear dog barking?" We're like, "Yeah, we do." And he was like, "That's a ghost dog." He's like, "Your dog's over there." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Oh," and no idea. And then a few nights later, yeah, crazy. And then a few nights later, I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like drawn to the closet, and I know that there is a being in the closet, and I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want to go near it. I'm awake.
The home invasion.
No, I'm like awake. I can feel that there's a presence there, and it felt like super strong. And I go back to sleep. The next day I wake up and I tell Sean, my husband, I'm like, oh, I had the weirdest experience last night. I felt the presence of a ghost, and he was like, by the closet, and I was like, yeah, how do you know? And he's like, yeah, because I've had experiences where I've been, because that was his closet. And he's like, where I've been like looking for things or like putting myself in the closet and being like, oh, I feel weird. I feel different. It was like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never woken up to like that kind of thing. I've had things like I've been like my shoulder's been tapped. I had a glass.
What tapped your shoulder?
I don't know. Like nobody was there. Like I was at a computer and I was like doing something and like I felt something and it was like a hard like tap on my shoulder and nobody was there. So, but then there's another where I had a glass on the table and it slid across the table. I've had that happen. And then one time in Oklahoma, one of my really good friends, Shelly Phelps, her and I were rehearsing for a 2-woman play that we were doing called Parallel Lives. And so her and I were doing this play, and we were rehearsing in her house, and we're talking about her uncle or her father or somebody of hers that had passed away. And we're talking about all of a sudden the light in her ceiling explodes.
Wow.
And just comes crashing down onto the floor in the middle of our talking. And she's like, that's never happened before. So, I mean,
That's wild. And you had that Disney experience with the ghost.
Yeah.
When you worked at Disney.
Yeah, there's a little kid that shows up in some of the photos on Space Mountain.
Wow.
And then you can hear voices in the Gab-O-Matic of a little girl during like fireworks and stuff.
Growing up in New Jersey, they had this magazine called Weird NJ, and they put like those haunted places in New Jersey, this thing called like the Devil's Tunnel or something. Oh, yeah. And it is supposed to be absolutely one of the most haunted places in the country. I was so scared. I didn't even get out of the car. My friends drove in high school. I was like, I'm staying in the car. They went toward it.
My friend Chris, I used to run, I don't know if he still does, who used to run the Orange County Paranormal Society, and he's invited me to go on like ghost, like overnights and whatever. I always wanted to go because I did like the
whole night off.
The whole night off.
Whole night off from drag. You're like, what? No. Do they do it afternoon?
Probably not.
But Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, you know, to a ghost hunt. I would love. I used to want to send in audition tapes to like the ghost hunters, like those shows.
I would know.
Why?
I'm too scared. I'm a scaredy cat at heart.
Do you remember of that MTV show?
Which one?
The MTV show where you would they would take like 7 people and they would be like at home base. Then they would send people off to do things where you have to lay in a coffin for 10 minutes in the dark.
With the cameras.
Yeah, but they have the camera. They have like big. They were one of those like angler fish things. What was that show called?
Fear Factor.
It was Fear something or
It was like
scariest.
Yeah, I don't know, but the show was good, but it was like a bunch of like teenagers, I think. Like it wasn't, but it was a good show. But I've always wanted to like send in videos to like the paranormal shows.
Maybe you do.
You need a drag queen.
I would say you need a drag ghost hunter. Maybe that's what you do.
I would be so down for that in a heartbeat.
We could be like Scooby Doo. You can go look for the ghosts. I'll be high. I'll be like confused about what's happening. Those will
She's gonna hear dogs.
Yeah. I'll hear about my dogs. Yeah. It's totally it.
Yeah.
Totally it.
You're gonna hear a dog
That you'll be like, oh, this is not that Velma. Okay, this is where this is where that ghost comes from.
Well, who's gonna be
Hot, sexy Fred.
Yeah, who's Fred? I was gonna say
we'll hold auditions. Be like, just the costume's only this ascot, honey. Try it on.
I would absolutely do that. I would want us to do that. But we gotta find a place that we can like go overnight and like. I've always wanted to go to like the hotels that are haunted to like put a camera next.
What about that one in Skid Row that was based on American Horror Story?
Yeah.
The Night Killer.
The Cecil.
Yes, the
Cecil.
Cecil.
That
you want
TV show is called Fear.
The what?
Fear.
That TV show is called Fear. It was in 2000 to 2002.
Thanks to Volta Charge right here. Keeping us on this, helping us out.
Okay, MTV's Fear. It was a really good show, but you know.
Would you go to that Skid Row hotel where the people died?
Absolutely.
Stay
Absolutely.
overnight?
Yeah.
One of the haunted rooms?
100%.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I want like cameras on me.
Yeah, you're like, I'm only doing it for content, not for fun. Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, here's the thing. I just want evidence that if I say, hey, this happened, I want people to believe me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, I had this experience. And even I'm like, yeah.
But it's also such a slippery slope to demonic possession that I'm like, yeah, I want to hang out with the ghosts, but I don't want anyone I know, any stuffed animal. I don't need anything possessed. I don't need to get into that.
That's why I don't do the Ouija board.
And not need to get into that world.
That's why I don't I don't mess around with the Ouija board.
Captain Howdy.
Because what happened?
Oh, Captain Howdy.
What's
The Exorcist when she's doing the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do the I feel like when you're talking to somebody like through like what is it, EVP, you know, where you can like hear them coming through like the static.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing, but I feel like the Ouija board is like inviting them in. Hi, come have a beer. Like you know, I don't know whether that's the case or not, but I just remember when I was a teenager playing with the Ouija board with this one girl who was already not correct in the head, and we're playing around, and then all of a sudden her eyes start like fucking doing this thing, and I was just like, no, I'm out. Bye, peace. Deuces.
Like me, you also live in a zoo with a lot of animals.
Yeah.
They say that animals can see the spirits. Do you ever see your dogs or cats like looking at something and be like, is someone over there?
Okay.
Isn't it?
That is so weird. Okay, so they were saying, I just watched a little video about it a couple of days ago about cats who, because household cats have the slanted eyes, but no other cat species has a slanted eye, apparently. But snakes have a slanted eye. So they were trying to correlate why snakes have a slanted eye, why domesticated house cats have slanted eye, but regular cats don't, like lions and tigers don't have, I guess. Slanted eyes. Well, I don't really know. But they were saying because they were so revered in the pharaoh times, the ancient times, so that they have mythical powers to see past this realm, and snakes do as well, because snakes were also, considered like the serpent. You can see past, certain things. Yeah. No, I shouldn't say no. I should have brought it.
That sounds like something I watch when I'm high.
I don't even smoke.
Like the Y-Files. You don't watch the Y-Files. That's a whole conspiracy.
The what?
It's a YouTube video where this guy and his sidekick, who's a fish, they delve into the best conspiracies on the internet, and then they lay out all the facts, all the story, all the lore, and then at the end he's like, all right, so we were able to disprove this part. This part has no explanation. This part actually is true. And then he's like, so now make up your mind. Do you believe what you just heard? Here's the evidence saying yes or no. It's up to you. And they do everything from aliens built the pyramids to are lizard people real to how involved was the CIA and JFK's assassination. It's all different things.
Well, didn't it just release the JFK files? I think Trump released all the JFK.
Yeah. JFK.
But okay, so do you believe in time travel?
I wish. But you know what? Whenever something goes missing in my apartment, I was like, why is future me trying to hide this? I was like, why should I not be doing this? I lost 5 wig caps in 1 week, and I was like, this has to be time travel. There's no excuse for that.
Or it's weed. That might not be time travel. It might be why you are coughing.
Well, yeah, imagine you have persistent cough. Sure.
But I don't know if I believe in time travel, but there's a much. I don't know why, but there's been a lot of that on my timeline, in my reels that I just kind of skim through. There's been a lot of it, and apparently there's predictions February 15th. There's supposed to be a sinkhole
next week.
Opens up. Yeah, this Saturday. There's going to be a sinkhole that opens up somewhere. I don't know.
I'm not CCBC.
When I say there's more than that's a stinkhole.
It's gonna rain next week.
It's gonna rain next week. Oh, look at you!
That's all it takes. California, fresh from the fires, the rain comes and there's a sinkhole.
I mean,
what's the sinkhole supposed to do? Why is it time to do time travel?
I don't think it has, because they were predicting it. It was it's gonna happen on this day in this place, and so they were. This is a proof that time travel is real, that we were telling you what is happening in advance. There were some other things in the video, but I can't remember what all he said. I would have to go back because I saved the video. Because I'm going to double check on this. But I'll have to go back and look at it. And then we'll have to revisit it next time.
All right, let's talk about time travel next time. What else is on your thing?
That's it. I got nothing else. Done.
What else is on yours? Oh, do you know World Pride is in DC? One part of me is I feel like it should be just the gayest thing possible. And another part is do we really all want to go party in DC for a weekend?
No. Make it.
Yes. The whole world is going to come to Washington, DC with this climate.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen.
What are they going to do? Change it? They can't. It's every city. It's too late. Australia had it. New York had it. London had it. Now it's.
But no, I think that it's a thing, but I don't think a lot of people are going to go to it because not everybody wants to come here anymore.
Well,
so I think that it's going to be low attendance. I do, but
Hanging with the Halstons, it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got.
Do you ask questions like that? No, you don't do the apps.
I don't do the apps. I just can't be bothered. Yeah, I'm like, look, if we don't meet each other old school, at a buffet, then it's really not meant to be, honestly. You might have the same priorities that I do. Even though I can't eat a lot anymore,
You still want to be.
you still have to
Wine down 69 yen. Like Aladdin said.
Yeah, but listen, if we're gonna 69, we're gonna 69 before.
Before the time. Yeah.
Mama don't eat and play.
I remember the other day when we were like, oh, we're both hungry. We're like, all right, let's go back to your house first and then we'll eat. It was like, yeah, let's do that.
Yo, you were on a date?
Yeah.
That did that?
Yeah.
Oh, you go on dates, Tim?
You know, I've just started dating this one person. I haven't dated in ages because, well, I've always, girls like me.
Wait,
I've always had a boyfriend.
Is this the person you said you asked last week
If I should tell
when
you
you should tell me you do drag?
Yeah, you know how that worked out?
Was it is it what I said?
What'd you say?
I said that he already knows who you are.
No, he didn't.
He didn't know?
He's only 3 months into town. He doesn't know any of the drag shows.
Oh wait, he doesn't know that you're
He does
iconic
now.
and legendary worldwide.
Well, because and so we're at Tool Shed Bingo, and who comes strutting over?
Rosemary
Galore and Erica Carrington. Nothing says I'm trying to keep my drag life DL than Rosemary and Erica next to you. The two of them. And they're like, oh, what's your next show? And literally, Erica be like, thank you for having Chris. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what shows are they talking about? I was like, and then Erica's like, Norma, I love you, thank you. And he's like, who's Norma? I was like, all right, hold on. And then finally they left. I was like, so. He was called you.
I mean, yeah.
But it's
Okay,
when you don't.
real quick. Why would you ever take somebody you're trying to conceal what you do to a place where everybody knows you? That would be like me trying to conceal that I do drag and bringing them here for a joke. That would never be.
Well, he wanted to come to Drag Race on Friday, and I was like, it's too soon. I was like, I like you to I want you to keep thinking of me like this. You don't need to see my other life yet. Keep it separate right now.
Oh, you don't want him to bask in the glory of that eyeliner?
Goodbye. Yeah, it's very that. He doesn't need to be thinking about oh yeah, that's my top up there doing Ethel Merman. Yeah.
A top.
I know you wouldn't know a top, but that is what I have to do.
Listen, I know how to spin a top.
Not even.
I know how to spin on a top.
That's true.
My nickname at college was Lazy Susan.
Your head is lazy.
I mean that too. I don't really want to put in much effort, honestly. But oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So are you gonna bring him? Are you gonna what are you gonna do?
No, nothing. We're hanging out. He's not coming to the shows yet. We're not there yet. But we're hanging out. It's cool. He knows. The other day, I you get undressed and you don't realize what you picked up in your closet. All of a sudden, he's like, "What?" He's like, "I have a red feather boa thing on my floor." He's like, "I've never worn a red feather boa," and I was like, "I've never." It's fake. It must have fallen out of the shirt.
Well, wait until he has random
Glitter.
sequins
Girl.
that fall out of his ass and he's gonna be shit. Like that,
I know.
let me tell you, that has happened. And then you're like, wait a minute. Born sequence in weeks. Where was that even hiding at?
Glitter's like herpes; it never leaves you. You always have a little bit of glitter somewhere after wearing it for too long.
I know, that's why I don't wear glitter. I don't wear glitter. I mean, here's the thing. I'm a firm believer in, white paint to peacock. Do you believe vampires?
I wish they were real, and I would definitely do. Would you do it? I would live eternity as a vampire, but I'd also want to be changed before this. I would have been like to been 8 years younger, maybe. But I could deal with this,
Well, you don't have a choice, girl.
When your turn, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you believe in them? Do you think it's real?
I don't know if I really believe in somebody trying to do a bat at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Flies around. I believe there are people who will suck energy out of you, like a vampire.
Wow, hello. Yeah, that's real.
But I don't know if I necessarily believe vampires. I hope they're real. I would like them to be real. I would totally, absolutely change. But then, do I want to live forever? No, on this earth. But I'll tell you what. If there are vampires, I need you to you have some work to do. MTC.
Why, you want them to live forever?
No, you fucking around to
Just drain them. Yeah.
Just drain them.
And leave them.
Yeah, listen.
Wait, speaking of New Orleans, so the one time in New Orleans, I'm there for a bachelorette party. So there's no time to hook up. It's literally, they have our whole freaking day and night.
I love that. That's great.
Sydney, that's what I go for. I do travel. I'm there to taste the local cuisine. So I find a little window where I'm like, all right, I can get away from the girls for a little bit. I go to some guy's house by our Airbnb. He's cute. We like that. As I'm leaving, I'm like, all right, I'll show myself out. He's like, which I did. His roommate is like basically doing the Amsterdam window moment in his room. Like, hey, on my way out. So then I thought to myself, I was like, I'm visiting here. I'm never going to see these people again. Any drama of me going in his roommate's room, they're going to have to figure out between them. So I just stepped in the roommate's room for a little bit and headed home.
So you left one room, went to the sidewalk.
No, even no sidewalk. Left like, I went for roommate A.
Yeah.
We had our moment. And as I'm leaving, roommate B is standing in his doorway, being like, come hither. And I thought, why not?
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here, fair maiden.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, yeah, why not? Let's try it.
Let
And I was
me
New
gaze
Orleans.
upon that highlighter.
Yeah, this was before that life. She was very butch. Had a beard. Yeah.
Oh, you had a beard?
Yes, beard. She was very butch. Yeah.
I can't imagine it. So you, okay, so, and you didn't even like get out of the apartment?
No.
And the guy A didn't hear?
I mean, I don't know if you heard it right. I was out. I got out of the way.
Did you not think that maybe you would have ran into guy A when you were leaving guy B?
I thought, one of three things is going to happen. He's going to join in, he's going to be mad, or he's just going to not say anything. Not say anything. One.
I love that. I think that's great. And I love that for you.
Well, it's New Orleans. You gotta go hard in New Orleans.
Apparently. Apparently. I would not know. I've never been. I've been asked to go and do a shows there.
I actually didn't see any drag shows when I was at Hoop.
Well, no, because you were too busy at the bachelor party and then pinballing and somebody's about
Pinball. That's a cute name for it.
Yeah. Just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Was it?
What? That free extra ball. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually what it's like when you think you're done with the pinball game and then the extra ball comes down. It's like, what? A bonus? Sure. I'll play again.
Amazing. I love that.
That's pretty shots.
Yeah. We'll be right back with our special guest, Jasmine Masters.
Hanging with the Halstons, you know it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hanging with the Halstons, and we have our very special guest, Miss Jasmine Masters. Look, we got waiting weeks to get you in here.
I know.
You so
I'm supposed to
busy.
be the first guest here.
You were going to be the first.
Yeah, but
But now you're here.
now I'm here.
Okay, so like you and I, we've been friends a very long time. Very long time. Now, when and why did you start doing shows?
Yeah. Well, the first time I ever did drag, I would say I was just doing it for fun at a friend's birthday party, and it was in his like backyard. So that's the first time. Growing up in San Diego, they had a competition for drag queens to do like a Patti LaBelle impersonation to win tickets to see her in concert. And my best friend was like, "Oh, bitch, you gonna do this contest because we watch Patty every day." And from the first time I done that contest and I won, I been doing drag ever since. The next day that same night, I got offered to do a big show for this big like male event that was happening down there that Saturday. And I never stopped doing drag. And it's been like 35, 36 years.
Wow. What is your obsession with Patti LaBelle? Because how many times have you seen her in concert?
I think it's 80. I see that 8 times.
You go backstage. You know each other at this point. You go
Well,
backstage.
she knows who I get.
She knows who Jasmine is.
I go on stage with her, and sometimes I'm always dressed up most of the times. And a lot of times we have the same costumes on.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. But she knows who I am, and, yeah. I go see her. I've seen her about 80 times.
So I was sent.
Isn't that crazy?
What is the thing saying? So she released an album after one of her divorces.
It was When a Woman's Good.
Yes. And so I was sent to perform at the record release party at Catch One. And but I got there and found out that it was not a record release party. It was a Patti LaBelle lookalike.
They booked you?
They booked me to come in and do the Patti LaBelle lookalike contest. And I said,
Yes.
I was like, you remember that?
I remember that,
And I
yeah.
was like, baby, I cannot go out and during the Patti LaBelle lookalike contest and do this show.
Right.
They went ahead and they were like, okay, well, whatever. And so they had me do a number before the contest started. But I was
Patti
like,
LaBelle number?
Yes.
yeah, because we all chose a song from the new album.
It was like 12, 15 of us, and she was there. She was like, girl. Like,
No, granted, I wasn't the only white girl that
No,
was
she
brought
wasn't,
in,
no.
but I was the palest of all. and so I was like, there's no way you are going to have me go out there and say that I'm going out there trying to impersonate Patti LaBelle.
right.
Just,
Oh my God, I remember that night so bad. I was gonna beat up somebody that night. Ooh. Because her name, well, so y'all can know, it was the host there, and her name is Jasmine.
oh,
And my name is Jasmine, right? So she was giving me all type of bullshit on the mic. This girl and this girl. I'm like, what did I do? It's like, my name is Jasmine, your name is Jasmine. Why you giving me so like hatred? I didn't do anything. I'm very fresh in the game. And I'm always a nice, pleasant person. But I've never been able to take the bullying situation. So if you come at me foul, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I was going to whoop her ass. But I didn't. Somebody called me back, but
Jasmine is a very pleasant person until she's not.
until I'm not.
And you Scorpio?
There's usually a reason.
Is that you Scorpio?
I'm a Libra.
Okay.
See, I'm a scale. So
Yeah.
I'm always happy. I love people. I love talking to people and all of that. But if you get that bad side, well, hey, you asked for it.
You're fine, yeah.
In your 35 years of doing shows, what do you think is the iconic Jasmine Masters song?
What is the
What
album
number?
that you pull out when you're like, I'm gonna gag these children. I'm gonna make all my money right now.
Well, honestly, looking back, there has been quite a few that I didn't know of. But to me, it's always like when I do Patti LaBelle, like You Are My Friend or Over the Rainbow or something like that. But people, and those are the numbers I get standing ovations from. When I do Ella Fitzgerald, the scat, I get standing ovations from that. When I do Gladys Knight, The End of the World, I get standing ovations from that.
Yeah.
But for me personally, whenever I do anything like Patti LaBelle, to me, that's just my. I'm always giving my all, but I don't know. It's a few numbers that people stand up on their feet for me.
Well, I feel like having watched you performing for several years, that there's a shift in you and your demeanor and your attitude from when you're doing a regular number and when you're doing a Patti number. Like the dynamic is different. So you 100%, because you can come out here and be like, hey, I'm walking through the motions on this song. But once you get into a Patti moment, then it's like everything comes alive for you.
The reverence you have for her probably pushes you in those moments.
Exactly.
To be like, there's
Yeah.
a standard of Patti LaBelle, and I have to live up to that standard.
I gotta be the character. Like if I'm doing a character, I want to be in that character from Dinah Ross, Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle, Cyndi Lauper, who anybody I'm trying to do, Shania Twain. And then there's numbers where I just like, oh, I want to be like this sexy or whatever. But whenever I'm on stage, I'm giving you 100% me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shortchange you at all, no matter what number it is. But when I do like Patti LaBelle, she's so dramatic, So in my mind, I got to be what I see on TV or see on YouTube or whatever it is. I got to give that to the audience so they can believe it and they can feel it. I want them to feel everything I do. But when you're doing a character like that, you got to sell the character to the person. I don't look nothing like her, But when you come on stage and you impersonate a person like that, Dolly Parton like you do, we turn into that character as much as we can so the audience can get the vibe of who we are trying to impersonate.
No, I give it all. Having done drag, you do 30 years. You did Drag Race the first time, season 7, before All Stars, and then you find a crazy amount of fame as memes and gifs and doing all the things that literally not a week goes by where my friends and I don't send each other something that you've done in those moments where you were just doing your wake makes, popping the camera, and it's so a part of you now. Like you could have never thought like all the work you put in, all the things that's what
the meme queen.
Yeah, that's what they call me. They still call me that to this day.
Do you have a favorite one? Is there one that you're like, I like that one. I'm proud of that one.
All of them because it's me.
You're like, I'm a fan of Jasmine, so I'm good all.
Yeah, it's just me. Like Vanity has been on me 25 something years.
28, yeah.
Okay, so she know like I always been the same person. I'm just me, and I say weird stuff. I mean, for me, start it out. I could, it's not even Christmas, but I didn't say anything. But it's just me. And people always loved it and they laughed about it. And now that we have the social media, they put it everywhere. And the slightest thing I'd say or a look I do, they add it. Now I'm in somebody's mattress. One of the girls from Drag Race this season, Joella, they put my face in her mattress.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going viral now.
Well, I saw you go viral when the Wicked movie came out, and it was the one where you duck because...
Okay, the whole girl screaming.
Yeah, they were like,
Gunshots coming through.
Yes.
And she's flying through, and you're ducking.
They use me everywhere, and I love it. My thing is this. I love myself, and I love life. If I can make people laugh and smile and have a good time and forget their problems, then that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to cause nobody problems and argue with you because I don't care about that. That's not paying my bills. But I love the love of life.
Speaking of paying your bills, don't you wish you could reach out to Mr. Internet and be like, I want to monetize all these
Honey,
so every time someone shares something to me in their
I'm gonna be a billionaire.
5 cents.
I'm gonna be a billionaire. But working with TikTok and the stuff that's going on, they have been very lucrative to me.
Yeah, right. Lucrative make these things.
I remember texting Jasmine when Oop was all around.
Coffee.
Was all around because I worked at Disneyland at the time. And there's the leather shop where you can get like leather, like your name or your birthday engraved or whatever. Well, it was prom nights. And we were getting hundreds of requests every single day for Oop.
Yes.
And we weren't allowed to put it on there because we weren't allowed to do phrases. And the girls that works there, they're a little older, and they're like, wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And I said, and I was a supervisor.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, don't report me for telling you what it means. We can say what it means.
Right.
And I was like, and this is what happened. And they were like, But I mean, it was the number one requested phrase that people wanted engraved on a bracelet for, I would say, 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You know what else gets sometimes? Every time Drag Race does something wrong, where they send the wrong person home, look, whatever it is, you get the meme of Jasmine going, RuPaul's Drag Race is fucked up. Yeah. Oh my God. That's another one that could never leave you.
Never. You know what? Every season it pops up.
Every season.
But like with the Oop, for those of you who may not know, I was doing the video and I was freeball. Well, not freeball, I had draws on. But I did a shift and I hit that right ball. And I said, and I because I hit my nut. So it was in the middle of my conversation that I was having on my video. And you know, man, when we hit that nut or it goes that way, we get that hot flash that go all the way through and we can barely breathe. And I was like, oh, I gotta get off here. I gotta lay down because you know that nut, it was just hurting. It was like, ooh. So in the midst of my conversation, I said, and I ooh, because I hit that nut. So that is it. So that has went viral.
Well, and imagine me trying to tell that to a bunch of ladies listening who are in their 70s, who are wondering why we can't put this phrase on a bracelet. And I'm like, well, because Jasmine Masters had a nut fall out. And
Did you show them the video? Were you like,
no, I didn't show them the video.
Oh my
But
God.
that's an HR complaint.
that's an HR complaint. But I was like, tell these 70-year-old women in the leather shop in Frontierland and Disneyland. Why would you?
And when I tell you, like, when I went viral, it was just, I never imagined for me to be viral in this time in life and with the media. And there was students, college students and high school students, they were doing their prom pictures and they like senior pictures in this little Dora Bob that I wore with these little silver earrings and a blue coat.
You wore a Halloween costume.
I was a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I was everything. It was so bad until like E! Entertainment and some other like newscasters and all the people, they met me at DragCon. I did like so many videos or interviews with people because it was so viral to everybody knew about it.
Well, and it all started with No Tea, No Shade, No Pink Lemonade. And it was just you going on YouTube and just talking.
Just being me.
Yeah.
And they loved it. So I love that. I love the fact that me just being myself and brought laughter and happiness to other people.
Now it's you've been so viral that on Wednesday you had the opportunity to actually hang out with the Queen Janet Jackson.
Yes.
Who literally said, oh wait a minute, I know who you are and I watched your video.
She absolutely did. So this past Wednesday, me and my best friend Chevelle, we went to see Janet Jackson. And we good friends with her makeup artist and choreographer and all them people. So we at the bar just drinking and stuff. And Janet texts me and say, oh, I'm gonna come down and have some drinks. Meet me at the bar. So there's a private bar that they, take her to or whatever. So we go there and I'm like, tell my best friend, like, Chevelle, bitch, we finna go see Janet Jackson. Chevelle was like, bitch, you must be drunk because we just saw her. I'm like, no, bitch. We about to go see eye to eye, hang out with Janet. So she already met her 4 or 5 times or whatever. She like, for real? I'm like, yes, bitch, you didn't hear? So we walk around, and as soon as I get to the corner, the elevator doors open, Janet Jackson walks out, and I turn around like, bitch, I'm finna hit the floor. I'm finna faint. So
What'd she wear?
what did she wear?
Yeah, how'd she look?
Amazing. Oh my gosh, she's so short and so beautiful and so kind. So we get in there and we talk or whatever and we introduce and I'm like, oh shit. So we go to the bar and I'm like maybe sitting like from here and she's over there. And she goes, Jasmine, come sit by me. Yes, ma'am. So I grab my red wine, but I'm like, can I get a red wine, please? So for real, can I get a red wine? Yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you, baby. I love you, Corey. So we go over there and we're sitting like this. She made everything into like a circle. She like a circle where everybody could be in one.
All the energy.
Yes, all the energy. So we're talking about everything. The popcorn come out. I'm asking about, have you ever had sugar on your popcorn? And she like, yes, I love that. Oh my God, it's amazing. Everybody else is like, what? I'm like, bitch, this is tea. I'm thinking maybe because I smoke weed, I've always got the hunger.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. And then we start talking about hot sauce and greens. And she said, how you make your greens? And I said, I like to make my greens with smoked turkey meat, yada, yada, yada. So we went through that. And then I started telling her about hot Cheetos. And I said, girl, I was going to Food for Less because they had the big bag of hot Cheetos, like 2 for $5. I said, the girl was tearing them up. I said, one day they should take this call. And when I said that, she said, "Oh, and you thought you was bleeding." And I'm like, "Bitch, yes, I had to call my baby to come check in my asshole to see was I bleeding or was that a hemorrhoid, because I don't know why the water was red." So, this is true, y'all. Me and Janet Jackson, I'm just...
She talking to Janet Jackson.
Yeah, and she said... So, I'm like, yes, girl, I was scared. So we both was like, it was the dye of the hot Cheetos, right? And then we started talking about like raspberries and blueberries and all these other berries that could make your stool look dark. I said, "Bitch, that happened to me too. I was scared as shit." So and she goes, she's so sweet and so beautiful. And she smells so good. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm sitting there talking about poop with you." I was like, "Nah, fuck that, Janet. We talking about shit and doodle. We growing as fuck." So, and she didn't let this loud scream out, like, oh my God, she just screamed so loud. But like I told her, I said, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be, I'm just me." But she loved the fact that she could have a conversation with somebody who wasn't just, "Oh my God," and this is, so she was a cool person. She smelled good. She's very beautiful. She's very small. And she put on a great show, and her microphone was on because she sang the whole time.
Good for her.
Yeah, so that happened to me this week. That was Janet Jackson. It was amazing.
I feel like that is how I would be with like Pink.
Yes.
Because I got to meet Pink one time, and she autographed my neck, and I got pictures with her and all that
You got a
stuff.
tattoo?
Yeah, so back, yeah. So we went to her concert, and then after the concert was over, we were invited backstage by her producers because I was dressed up as her, and so then we're there. We thought Pink had already left, and so we're like, okay, whatever, we're just gonna be here. And then all of a sudden, this crowd in the middle kind of dissipates, and there's Pink, and she sees me, and she walks over, and I was with my best friend at the time, Shauna, and so we got to meet her and take a picture with her. She signed us, autographed us, so we both had them tattooed. But it was just, and then Lisa Marie Presley came over to hang out with us. Like, it was just a really cool, down-to-earth, like,
right.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Oh, can I say something real quick? I'm sorry.
Whatever you want.
So when I was talking about my career in drag, y'all mentioned Kiwi earlier.
Yes.
Kiwi was my drag, and still is my drag auntie.
Oh.
And she saw me one night, we was at the club, and she was like, "Do you want to do this for fun, or do you want to make a career?" And I'm like, "Auntie, I want to do what you're doing." So she was the one that really brought me into going to Riverside and at the IE. I didn't know about the drag shows out there. She was the one that brought me there. She the one that brought me to Oasis on Sundays, whatever that show was, where Reagan was hosting.
Yeah.
And I kicked all their asses in the show. Reagan was the host, so she got unlucky. But I wore Morgan ass out. I tore her ass up, and I tried to dance out. Yes, I did. Mayhem Miller at the time, she wasn't doing drag. She was just sucking dick in the back by the chopstick. But I love my auntie Kiwi because she brought me into the art form of drag and being professional and doing everything, and I became a dream girl. I've been a dream girl now for 25 years, so yeah. So I did want to get that out because I heard y'all talk about it.
Kiwi is one of the most memorable entertainers that I can think of.
And if y'all don't know who she is, y'all can always look up RuPaul drag videos, and if you see that transsexual there, that was Kiwi. Like very titties, small waist, hips, beautiful, lips and everything. Her favorite character was Donna Summer. Yeah. So if you go back and look at some of RuPaul's old videos, you will see her there. She was in a lot of the videos. Yeah. And she wanted to help me get into.
There are a couple videos of Kiwi performing on YouTube, but they're really hard to find.
Yes.
Because you type in Kiwi and it's all this recipes.
Yes, recipes and little fruit and shit. But she's there.
She is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the best, talk about RuPaul, what is the best thing that you got out of Drag Race that came from your time doing it?
Going into the grocery store and people knowing me.
Yeah. Being recognized back in daily life?
Because You know, honestly, growing up and watching the shows, the award shows, and this and that, I always been in love with that. And I always said that's going to be me. So I always see me being like in a spotlight and people knowing who I was. I just didn't know what it was going to be. I never wanted to be a drag queen. That was never what I wanted to be. Honestly, I thought I was going to be a go-go dancer. Oh, I wanted cute shorts, tennis shoes to match the shorts.
No tucking.
No, let it hang out. My daddy said, "You blessed. Don't let it go to waste." So that was my dream. I'm like, I'm gonna go dance. Now I'm gonna be like, hey. But I never thought drag would be what would bring me to a spotlight. And when it did, like when I got on Drag Race and stuff, I would never forget me and with my family, who was very supportive of me, always happy. We was at Chuck E. Cheese. It was my little cousin's birthday party. And I went up to the counter to order the food or whatever, and the manager was just sitting there like mouth wide open. And I'm telling him like, we need this, and this. And he was like, okay. And then he goes, "Are you Jasmine Masters?" And I'm like, yes. He was like, oh my God. So he was like, okay, so he punched the order in, but he goes in the back. And I could look, and I could see the people like behind looking to the small little sucker. So he go back and tell them, that is Jasmine Masters. So everybody rush out with their phones, and they want to take pictures. So this was the first time that my family, my mom, my dad, my cousin, everybody had a chance to experience people noticing me as being on the show, but the love that they showed me, it was just so overwhelming for my family. So even though they accepted me and they didn't care about nothing, but I was so happy that they was able to see like what I'm really doing is not a bad thing. I'm doing it, it's my job, which they knew, but they got to see how people really love me and embrace me. And we got everything free at Chuck E. Cheese. I just see what happens when I put on the wig and take my balls.
How was it different from your season of Drag Race to going back on All Stars?
It was, the only thing different was I got a bigger paycheck.
Would you do Drag Race again, knowing what you know now?
Yes.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. I will.
So you, like me, you love your weed. What like 3 drag queens would be in your dream blood rotation?
Latrice Royale.
Yeah.
Go, we asked, oh my God, I got stories about that one. We asked my little place out in LA. Latrice Royale, Dita Ritz.
Oh, yes.
LaGanja, and Gia Gunn.
So that's a shady group.
Oh,
I
man.
gotta talk.
Honey, we went to Amsterdam, and you know, in Amsterdam, the weed is legal, so they got the coffee shops, and we was doing a tour. When I tell you, as soon as we landed and we got to our hotel rooms, we all checked in, dropped our bags off, and we went to the nearest coffee shop because they got weed in there too. We smoked that place out for 3 hours. And we got about barely 2 hours to get to the room to get our stuff to go to the venue. We were so high. So the one thing about me, I always learned how to know my locations and where I'm going. So I knew we took a Uber there. And then we had to walk, we was just gonna walk back. And they was like, oh shit, we don't know how to get back. I'm like, bitch, y'all see that star over there? They say, yeah. That star is right by our hotel room. All we gotta do is keep walking that way and we gonna find it. And I guided us all the way to our room. So when I tell you we lit that motherfucking place up, it was like when they opened up the door, there's smoke that was out there. People was like this before they came in, even though they was coming in for weed and coffee. But it was so many of us, like maybe 8 of us. And everybody bought weed. And we would just go in rotation. Oh, we were so high.
It was taking forever to do doing your makeup high. So I always have to add more time in.
Girl, no, it took me about 15 minutes. This I ain't never looked so bad.
So you think we used to high? I mean,
Well, that same night, I got a standing ovation in the encore. So I was cute. But yeah, them were my favorites that I would love. And I would add in Kennedy, which is one of my best friends. I would add her because when she comes stay with me when she in town, she rolled my blunts and then she cooked me breakfast.
Whoa.
So I wake up to my blunts rolled and she's in the kitchen just cooking. Yes.
All right.
Yes, I love that.
What is your like go-to strain? Do you have like a preferred strain or?
I don't give a damn. As long as weed, that's all I can do.
So I like to do sativa in the morning. Like switch to hybrid, and I'll do like indica at night.
See, all of that, it don't even matter. Because if I feel low and I'm like, bitch, I'm sleepy, that's what coffee is for.
Not me. I'll fall asleep. I'll put too much THC and be like, oh no, I'm crashing.
Child, please, I'm going to put that little curry down and give me some coffee and I'm going to punch it. It doesn't matter. Weed is weed.
Yeah.
You know, so if I feel like, bitch, I'm a little drowsy, if I got to make some money, I'm going to make my money. I ain't going to let shit stop that.
Or not.
And you know, Trey come over, baby, on my little dick, on my little ass, little head. Okay, baby, but look, we got to get this over with because I got to make my paycheck.
Do you hook up with Travis?
Hell no.
No, me neither. As everyone slowly looks at me.
Now, living in West Hollywood,
This time, yeah.
I got millions of stories about them. But no, it doesn't turn me on for anxiety to come on to me and drag because this is not what you're going to get when we're in bed. I can't do it. It's just not me. It's a turn off to me. So, but
It's been so long since. Yeah.
yes.
You can share a
Let me
story.
drink this wine now. It's a good wine.
You can't say it's wine.
Let's say it's juice.
That's it.
It's water with cranberry juice. Right.
That's why we covered. That's why we can cover them.
And
We've traveled a lot together, like Catalina.
yes. Oh,
What'd you do? You picked up trade and drag?
baby. You know that little golf course?
Yeah.
This bitch is a pro.
Well, we stole one. Because we didn't know that all the golf carts belong to people
Right.
that live on the island. We thought
Right.
they were just there, like the scooters that are out on the sidewalk.
yes.
And we thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And you know what? They left the keys in, and so we heard
took off.
we heard of a 24-hour taco shop that was down a few
Down the
blocks
way.
away.
Yes.
And so I hop in, we get the golf cart, and we just steal it. Allegedly, go to this
She was the
24-hour.
driver.
25, we are wasting.
Fuck that.
Wasting.
Baby, we was so lit.
We had just got doing a show there. We had to be overnight because the ferry doesn't go that way.
So dope.
And then we're at the taco shop, we're ordering our food, and there's some construction workers who didn't know what to do with us, but knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Yes. They was ready for us, honey.
Y'all were in drag or just you?
No, all three. It was me, Vanity, and Morgan.
So everyone's in drag.
Yes, honey. So I knew I wasn't doing nothing, but we was all together and we went back to our room with the guys.
They
And
followed you to the room?
yes, oh honey, that was wicked. And Vanity, oh my gosh. This is a calm settle. Vanity used to wear like dresses that went like right here. Like if she bent over, you would see dick and the ball. That was so short. And she had this like, then she was just like ass, like big old watermelon ass, right? So and she already wears short cut dresses and this blonde hair. That was her look. So we there, me, her, and Morgan, we hanging out, we cocktail, and we meet these guys, and they're like, ooh. So she, they're getting, talking to me, yada, yada. Morgan doing her thing. I'm just sitting there like, so. And we have so much fun. Like over there, Catalina, I'll never forget that. And I got stories. But yes, that was one of the
Yes. That is one of it.
Yeah, y'all got to settle Vanity. I would know Vanity. Oh my gosh.
She knew me when I belonged to the streets. Yes.
Our prostitution junkie whore.
Well, you know, I wish I did get paid for it.
I wish you'd be rich and flat.
I know.
Like her meat money.
Right.
Yeah, I need her meat money.
We got some great.
Yeah, no, this operation's been shut down.
But I will say,
CDC.
right. I will say this though, so some of y'all would know and whatever. But since I met Vanity, she has been 100% the same exact person. She has never changed.
Robin.
We had a small, out of the 20-something years we've been knowing each other, maybe like last month,
Yeah.
we had like a small little disconnect. But it happened, and we solved it so quick. And when I say like this is one of the realest people I have ever met, who is genuine, and she's always there for you no matter what it is. Even when she always had 50 jobs to do. But if I say, Vanity, I need this, I need that, she was like, okay, I get it done, I get it done, I get it done. She do so much, and she always have done so much for me and other girls around. And you don't find a lot of people who really have the support and really there for you as a friend and as a co-worker, like this person right here. So when I say, I love you, you tired of bitch. And I'm only good at that because before I start crying, I'll cry for the people. I cry in the shower. But like, you are one of my friends. I know for a fact, I can say, you're my friend and I love you with all of my heart. And there's nothing that you can ask me that you say, girl, I need you, you know I'm gonna be there, regardless of fact. And I love you for that and I appreciate you for that.
Well, thank you. I love you, and like I know that also the thing, like no matter what I need, you're always there. And I think that's why we've always been so connected with no matter, you know, even if we like when I moved away for 6 years and I come back, there's never a reconnection point.
Right.
We've always been connected.
It's be right where we left off.
Yeah, and I think it's because neither one of us have changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the same.
We may have the gray hairs on our balls, but
Hair on your balls. I have no idea what that is.
but
I don't
the
know.
love and the respect has been there so strong and so correct and so there until it will never change. And I will never change it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Never.
that.
Ever.
I appreciate it.
That's what let a friend to you.
Thank you.
I promise you. Exactly.
Jasmine, thank you so much for being here tonight.
That's good.
Thank you. One of my dearest friends in the entire world. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Make sure you guys check her out on her Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all that stuff.
All of that good
And
stuff.
she's here, and the show's here at 111 as well as all of our things. But thank you guys for being here tonight. Hanging with the Halstons, and we will see you next weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Step into the beat, yeah, we're feeling so iconic. Glitter in the air and the vibes are supersonic. Queens in the house, got the world in our hand. We tearing up the scene with those Halston plans. Swat that lip gloss, pop those lashes high. Living for the moment under neon sky. Podcast blazing loud, gotta catch that train. Speak your mind, honey, let 'em feel the rain. Hanging with the Halstons, you know it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got. Echoes in the club, microphone to the soul. We ain't just talking, honey, we're on a roll. Clink that champagne, let's toast the night. Drag power rising, feeling out of sight. Strutting down the lane where the lights never dim. Glitters like stardust, fans adore the whim. Different shades and colors making hearts combust. When you're with the Halston need trust. Hanging with the Halstons, you know it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got. Hanging with the Halstons, you know it's a show. Laughing and spinning, let the good times flow. Every story snatched, every tea is hot. In the glam zone, baby, give it all you got.